I think
Hey
it did
everybody,
too.
it worked. Hey everybody, Fraser Cain here, publisher, Universe Today, and this is your virtual star party for
Don't do
May
it. Don't do it.
for May 4th,
There you go.
2014. Star Wars Day. So we've got some special guests here tonight. So let's see. Let's kind of move through the crowd we've got here. We've got Andrew Dumbleton, who is running the Eye Telescope.
Hi, Fraser.
He's in England. It's in New Mexico, and I'm seeing low res. Maybe that'll clear up. Speaking of low res, we got David Dickinson.
Hey,
We got 8-bit Dickinson over here.
8-bit Dickinson.
it actually says 8-inch SCT Hudson, Florida. I'll just keep reading it till I someday solve whatever the problem is with this.
I like
connection.
just change it to 8-bit and we'll be good.
Yeah, David 8-bit Dickinson.
Pretty much.
Got Gary Gonella. Hey, Gary.
Hi, guys.
How's it going, Gary?
I don't know.
We got Stuart Foreman.
Hi.
Without a telescope.
All right, clouds.
For shame.
That's all right. That's all right. And we got my co-host Scott Lewis. Hey, Scott.
How's it going?
Also known as @ScientificScott. Follow him on Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter. I tweet a lot. And Google Plus even harder.
And we got a very special guest today. We got Henna Khan from India. Hey, Henna.
Hi, everyone.
From the future.
Henna is from the future. And she's got
I am from the future, yes.
Yeah, what's it like tomorrow?
It's bright and sunny here in the
perfect.
future.
So whereabouts are you located, Henna?
Sorry?
Where are you? I said India, but that's a big country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Bombay.
You're in Bombay.
Yes.
And so Henna has been sort of circling the astro community for quite a while now. She has sort of came onto our radar for doing a bunch of really cool educational outreach with students in India and teaches them astronomy experiments and makes rockets and things like that, and has been sort of participating with CosmoQuest and now is working on a project with Scott Lewis.
Right.
So before we get into the actual astronomizing, why don't we let you guys do a quick plug of what it is that you're doing?
Go for it, Hannah. You're our special guest. They hear me talk all the time.
Yes, they do. Okay, so we have organized an event for 9th of May, and it's the One Sky event, where we are celebrating the fact that we all share one sky and one Earth. And it's basically a sidewalk astronomy event done on an international scale, where astronomers from everywhere will be just setting up telescopes everywhere, and there are local public places, and anyone who's passing by can take a look at the Moon, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn. So yes, we have about 12 countries participating so far, and that's just awesome. We are trying to rope in more people from different countries, and so we hope that this is going to turn out to be a nice, big event. And yeah, that's it.
All right, well, that sounds great, but maybe can you put that in commercial form?
Scott can do that.
We live in a world where there are countless borders built between us, both physically and socially. However, we have one sky that unites us all.
Looking up into the night sky is something that we can all do, regardless of where we live on this planet. On the 9th of May, people from across the globe will be doing just that.
Looking up and appreciating one of the things we all share, our sky. We will be joining astronomers from around the world who will be setting up telescopes absolutely free for anybody who wants to look through.
You can join in as well by attending local events or virtually on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter.
Looking through a telescope will let you see Mars and Saturn, star clusters too. But you don't even need a telescope. As long as you have clear skies, we can all look up at the Moon together. So on the 9th of May, join us in gazing up at the night sky.
If you're hosting your own local star party, share with us the details on any of our event pages, which are linked in the description below.
Don't forget to share your pictures or astrophotography with the world using the hashtag OneSky. Wherever you are in the world, let's look up at one sky and share our sense of wonder about our cosmos.
Fantastic. That's going to be great. So May 9th, Sidewalk Astronomy event.
So
how can we get involved?
We have an event over on one of my other channels, over on Space Fan News. So find us on Google Plus at Space Fan News, where we have our event set up there. Also, Henna has a Facebook event set up as well. That's it's on your name, but if you just go to knowthecosmos.com/onesky, it has all the events, all the information you need. I'll put the link below in the event page, and that just has everything. So as far as us getting more information as it's being updated, we'll be updating it there and throughout all of the other events that we have for it.
All right, sounds great. And Shaw has just joined us. Hey, Shaw. Oh.
So Shaw is dealing with a lot of spyware at the moment, and so he's trying to clean his computer at the same time, which it's funny just seeing him pop in and freeze for a bit. So everyone can go and harass him on Twitter at Shawgazer and tell him which computer cleaning software do you use, and just tweet it at Shaw and let him know.
Now we got two Shaws. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to move on to the actual space stuff here while Shaw gets his spyro under control. It could be days. So, David, what is this glowing gray orb you're showing us?
This is a very blobby, blurry version of the moon that's probably about 5 degrees above the western horizon getting set. The moon's like waxing crescent right now, I think about 25% illuminated. But it's kind of cool along the terminator. You're seeing the sun rise there. The crater I had right at the top, you could see the central peak where the sun is just starting to hit it. I looked that up. That's Theophilus is the name of that crater right there.
Yeah, the moon is really low on the horizon, even for me. And
yeah. On the west coast, it should be a little higher for folks out there. Right now,
it'll be setting though.
I didn't think I was going to be able to get it at all. It's really close to the fence. Probably in a few minutes, I'll move over to Mars. I'll mute myself and then reconfigure everything over to Mars. Then we'll move on to Saturn. I'll be able to get that too. Mars won't be as blobby.
And it's super close right now, so it's going to be the best view of Mars we're going to have for a couple of years.
Yeah, for another 26 months. Yeah, oppositions come around. Mars was at opposition last month, and Saturn reaches opposition next weekend, as a matter of fact. So they're both in very good viewing positions right now. Jupiter just went behind the fence, so I won't be able to get that. Jupiter is very close to the moon tonight. They're both in Gemini right now. So.
Yep, right here. So wow, that must be really close to your fence, because there's Jupiter right there, and there's the moon. So you really are just squeezing the moon in there real quick.
Yeah, when I looked earlier tonight, I didn't think, when I looked at the rising setting times, I didn't think I'd be able to get the moon, but about 20 minutes ago I looked and I was like, well, it's high enough above the fence, I might as well start there.
It's strange that we're going to lose Jupiter. You know, wouldn't be the virtual star party without Jupiter, but
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move to Andrew's view, and Andrew's got a bunch of stars. What's this, Andrew?
Yeah, this is M44, the Beehive cluster. So this is the central part of it. So you see, if I could spin it around, what looks like a little house. I think it's also called the Praesep, or the manger. I've got a little blooming on there, you can see, from the stars being so bright in that telescope.
So much light.
I think it's just the bees are buzzing really strongly tonight, and
blooming,
you can really see them fly.
That's great. All right, and Gary.
M81 and M82. And
you appear to be blinking again.
For the color, but I don't have color ballots running right now.
Mm.
Am I blinking?
Yeah.
Why is it doing that again? I have no idea why it's doing that.
I don't know.
You was doing that to me last week, too.
Who programmed it?
Yeah. Well, I'm currently building a whole new operating system disk, so this one's old.
Oh, well, that'll help.
Hopefully that's the problem.
So now, Stuart, because you don't have skies tonight, you're going to work on a project here in the background? What's
right,
going on?
So...
Macrame? Are you crocheting?
You going to knit something?
Yeah, so what what I'm doing is I'm creating. I'm going to be working on an image. Hopefully I can get it done within the hour. But right now I'm creating flat masters, and if you see my screen, you see vignetting on the left, and you see dust bunnies to the right. And this is kind of what photographers have to deal with. And the whole point of this particular image, which just looks like a gray blob, is to take out those in the final image. And I'll show that when I'm ready.
So you're teaching the software what's bad about your
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. And so once this is a master of all the light frames, I'm going to do the RGB in a second, and then I'm going to load all the light frames, and then subtract these out. Actually, you divide out the flat frames, but yeah.
So real quick, how did you create that master flat before you go to subtract it? Is it just arbitrary? I like these dust bunnies here. Let's remove them. Or how do you do that?
Right. Well, what you do is you have to actually have a very even field, and so I actually have a panel that I stick on top of my telescope, and it's an illuminated panel, and then I take an image of this panel of X amount of seconds just to get a certain amount of saturation of the chip. And you just keep it in exactly the same optical configuration as you're taking the light frames, and you do it the same night. So theoretically, the dust bunnies that are there when I took this flat frame are also going to be there when I take the light frames.
Gotcha.
Gary, we got a request from our good friend Helen Reed for the Guitar Nebula in Cephas.
Guitar Nebula?
Yeah, in Cephas.
Whoa.
Never heard of it.
I know, so it's worth going after.
I'll look it up. 1 sec.
Apparently, Brian Coberline wrote about it.
Brian, always messing with our stuff. We had to get him in here. I will have to hound him.
That'd be great. Okay.
Or you should hound him. He writes for you.
Guitar, G-U-I, like...
Yeah, Guitar Nebula.
Like the guitar, G-U-I-T-A. It's not coming up on my...
I'm seeing something from Cornell. Let me pull something up.
Helen, do you have an NGC number or something?
I'm pulling one up here for you.
Hold on. Wait to Gary's view. Neutron star B224. Man, we need a...
I'm trying to find a designation for it.
Yeah, I'm having trouble too.
Although, from what I'm also seeing here, too, these images they're playing up are from Hubble Space Telescope, so and they're really grainy. So I don't know if we're going to be able to pull stuff up for it, but I will see if there have been any ground-based observations.
So, Andrew, in your all-sky view here, is that the moon?
Yes, it is. Very bright.
But it's like a thin little sliver of a moon.
Yeah, I think it's the all-sky camera, in order to capture the stars, must be set at something like 5 seconds, so completely blows out the moon in this picture, but at least we get a nice view of the plough and the summer triangle.
Yeah, I can totally see the summer triangle there in the bottom left. I can see the Big Dipper there. That's so cool. Oh, here's Mars.
Yep, just got it lined up. I started watching it a few hours ago. I can tell it's already rotated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
Mars,
is that the ice cap over on the right hand, like on the sides of it?
I think on my right, your left, yes. And there's another white spot. I think that's the Hellas Basin that's been having a lot of cloud cover lately. And I can see the Sartris Major, that dark region on the limb, that large triangular region starting to rotate forward. I couldn't see that a few hours ago. So it definitely is kind of rotating forward now. Mars has got a rotation very similar to the Earth. It's only like 30-odd minutes longer than Earth's rotation. So if you watch it at the same time every night, you see almost the same face of Mars. It changes by about like 15 degrees per night. So it changes very slowly if you watch it every night. They're almost in synchrony, you could say, Earth and Mars in rotation.
NGC... No. This is really tough, Helen. We need your help. Help us find this.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Well, the two images I have found here were either taken from Hubble or the 5-meter telescope at Palomar, and again are pretty low resolution. So I don't know if we'll be able to pull anything without someone spending days and days of observation to pull it out.
Yeah.
I will try to find a closer designation for it, besides it being in Cepheus.
I heard you guys talking. I'd never heard of that guitar nebula before. I'd never heard that thing.
It's about it's about an arc minute in the sky, so there's no way any of us are going to see it. It's way too small. It's like a fifth the size of the Ring Nebula. I mean, it's itty bitty, eensy weensy.
Sorry, Ellen, I can't do it.
Yeah, it'll look, even if we could see it, it would just look like a dot.
There are a lot of really challenging planetary nebula like that look almost like nothing, really.
Sorry to smash your guitar, Nebula, like rock stars over here, but... Just...
Well, you know, if someone could give us like a RA declination, we could, you know, take a crack at it, but... I'm going to move back to Stuart's view. So, Stuart, what's going on now?
So these are some master lights that were not calibrated all that well, and you can see. Let's see. Let me pull up my image manager. So this is green. So this is blue, green, luminance in red, and you can see how at least on the green there's some gradient there, and you see a little dust bunny there, and there's some gradient over here, and that'll have to come out a little later in processing, and I'll deal with it. But I sort of jumped ahead with this because the whole calibration thing is boring and it takes a long time.
So did you take like 3 different photographs of this?
Yeah, so what this was is this luminance, this one here, this is actually with the supernova. So you can see the supernova right there. This is an old image. This is about 2 hours of data, each 10 minutes each, all stacked together and calibrated with the dark and the flat frames that I was showing you earlier. This is blue, this is green, this is red, and it doesn't look blue, green, and red yet because I have not assigned the colors to them yet. So they're all monochrome images. But I have to tell the computer that this is a red image, this is a green image, and this is a blue image. And once I do that, it'll create a color image. And I can do that now. Take this out, create, and it's going to create a color image in a second. So it looks odd, and that's okay. Desaturate the background, and boom, we have a color image. Just like this, and it still needs work, but we can see color in the image itself. And so I'll be working. I'm going to be taking this and importing it to Photoshop, and that'll be my next step.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll watch your screen for when you've got to the next point. Cool. All right. I'm going to go back to Andrew's view. What's that, Andrew?
That's Comet Pan-STARRS, I think, C2012 K1.
Right on.
Nice. We should probably tell people how to get a hold of us, by the way. We have not
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Station identification. Who are we, and how can you get in touch?
It's how did Helen tell us that she wanted us to try and find that object? She used the Q&A app, which is, if you're watching this on YouTube somewhere, there's a little link on it that says that I'm interacting with the crowd, and if you click that, you'll see the Q&A app, and you can post your questions there, and we will see them, and we will answer them. Or tell you that we can't find that object. But we love to take requests.
So you use Q&A app. There, you can also comment on YouTube. I'm looking at that. You can tweet at us as well. So at @the_VSP. Or you can send smoke signals. I mean,
call.
I'm not checking Facebook.
I'm not going to answer my phone though. So
I might.
Really?
If it's important enough. Like, oh, hi, Phases of the Moon app.
Oh.
How are you? Phases of the Moon app is doing pretty good. He's going, hey everybody, I'm a phase of the moon.
That is truly the phase of the moon right now. I get so many people emailing me and saying that we're getting this the phase wrong, the sign wrong. So they go to their birthday and then they look at the bottom and they say, but my birthday isn't. I'm not a Cancer in July. I'm like, no, it's where the moon is, not where the sun is. All right, let's go back to Gary's got something going on here.
Yeah, I got clouds moving in. That is M5 through clouds.
It sure is.
So I'm trying to find some, and the blinking will be gone by next week.
Right. After your operating system has been completely revised?
Yes. I think that's what's going on. Anyway, that's M5 through clouds, and I have clouds circling me right now. Those high, wispy stuff that's getting thicker, so I'm going to shoot what I can.
All right. Man, your Mars is really great tonight, David.
Yeah, it's almost right overhead here, so this is the best way to look at it. Yeah,
like a beast.
Yeah,
I could totally see the darker regions. The
northern pole cap is turned forward for this opposition right now, so that's the white spot you're seeing on one of the limbs. The oppositions are getting slowly better. In 2018, we're going to have an opposition nearly as good as the one in 2003. It's going to be like within an arc second. So we're in a cycle where the oppositions are getting better.
So Henna, what's your favorite object to share with the children?
I usually show the moon because it's from Bombay. But Jupiter, yes, we show Jupiter a lot of times. That's nice. They get so thrilled because you can see the bands on Jupiter and you can see the moons of Jupiter. So they get really thrilled.
And I guess a lot of them have never had a chance to even look through a telescope. I mean, most people have never had a chance to look through a telescope.
The pollution is so bad that, I mean, I don't know how many kids these days even look up at the stars. They make out constellations and stuff. So they're thrilled. Even the moon, when they see the craters and, when they know that those craters are so many years, billions of years old, so they get really excited.
How bad is the light pollution there? It must just be like Los Angeles bad.
But so I stay close to the sea, so that side, the western part of the sky is still not so bad. But yeah, 5 months in Bombay we have the rainy season, so it's like completely clouded out, and the rest of the time, it is light pollution is a big problem. But the major like Orion and all we can make out.
Yeah, Shaw's got the cloud pollution. Yeah, the rainy season, which I also have.
Yeah. Well, it's just because you live in Vancouver. It's always cloud season for you.
No way. We're almost out of it. It's starting to turn into full-blown paradise now. So I'm gonna go back to see what Stuart's up to now. He's like something's got levels. Something's got levels going on.
So right now, what I'm doing is I'm stretching out the color, and so as I'm just and this is I normally don't do it this way, and I screwed something up. So I got to go back to stuff. Yeah, see, look how crappy that is. So I did something wrong. So I'm gonna undo all this, and see, this is what we deal with. So I kind of want to show.
You're moving too fast for me to see how bad it is.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So
okay,
I'm going to start over here.
It hasn't quite resolved.
No. So what are you doing though?
So right now, if we look at this histogram here, see how all the data is all the way on this left-hand side. Okay, so you see all this spike of black is all the way over to the left. Mm-hmm. And so what I need to do is I need to stretch that data out such that we actually see something. And to do that, there's two ways to do it. There's called linear and nonlinear stretches. And a linear stretch would be to do something like this and just move the white slider over. None of us ever do that. You can see how terrible it looks. But a nonlinear stretch would be to do what I was doing with curves and to selectively stretch parts of the image to bring out the data that you want to bring out.
And so why do you have to do it? You're doing like a bunch of steps. Why do you have to do a bunch of steps?
Because if you do it all in one, then you get what's called I think it's called posterization. I forget the term for it, but what ends up happening is everything you clip all the middle areas, and then it looks terrible. It looks much better if you do it just in little steps.
Right.
So you take your baby steps.
Let's see you do it now. Bring the light in a way that doesn't look posterized.
Right.
I love how you're just teasing it and just pulling out
Right.
that galaxy, or both galaxies. It's like you're a doctor and you're able to just pull this out.
You got magic hands.
Right. So here I'm lowering the black point just to kind of stretch it out. We can start seeing it coming here, see?
That's really cool.
And so this is just the color data. There. So, that's not bad for a real quick little process. Just using a combination of levels and curves. And so this is the color. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the luminance and then blend them together. So here's the luminance image, and I'm just going to do the
This
the
is
same
so
thing.
good. We just might have to use some of your photography for VSP promotions.
You already are.
I know.
That's really cool.
So what I'm referencing there is if you go to the Virtual Star Parties Google Plus page, our header at the very top shows what? Is that the double cluster?
Double cluster, yeah.
Double
And
cluster.
normally I don't go this fast, but obviously we're under time pressure here. But
So this is the luminance version, and then you're
this is the luminance version I'm doing right now.
Right.
So now what I'm going to do is watch this. So I'm going to get the luminance version, copy the luminance version, paste it on top of the color version, and they're doing what's called a luminance blend. And there we go.
Nice.
And so, there's a lot more stuff that you can do to this. There's still a gradient there, and you can bring out more detail and stuff like that. But that's basically more or less how we all kind of process images. And obviously it's a lot longer than this, but it's not that hard to do.
So I noticed right now you're using Photoshop, though.
Yeah.
Is it possible for using open source software like GIMP? Can you do similar processes?
Yes, there are people who do use GIMP. Not a lot of people who use GIMP. I think Gary has used GIMP.
I played with it some time ago, but I don't use it now.
And most of us are sort of moving over to a program called PixInsight, which is cheaper than Photoshop and is really specific for astrophotography, but I'm not good enough yet to show it.
Have you got some clouds there, David? Oh, maybe not.
A little bit. There's a little bit. There's probably some dew collecting on the front too.
Time to pull out that hairdryer.
Oh yeah, it's. I got the dew shield on too. It's. I zoomed in on it, so it's also gonna magnify all the turbulence too.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great big Mars.
I'll probably move over to Saturn here in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I hope everyone appreciates that we're seeing a view of Mars better than we've seen in years and years and years.
About 6 years.
About 6 years, yeah.
Yeah. We had opposition since then, but like I said, they come around every 2 years, but not all oppositions are favorable, and we're actually in a cycle of bad oppositions right now. So where Mars happens to be near its furthest point while it's reaching opposition. Mars has quite an elliptical orbit, so it can vary considerably when we're at its closest point.
Yeah, and so the one in 2 years from now is going to be even better.
Even better in 2016, and then 2018 is going to be another good one. Like I said, almost as good as 2003. Pretty much.
Will it look as big as the moon?
I think I heard it's going to be bigger this time.
Bigger than the moon?
Yeah.
It was on the internet. It's got to be true.
Yeah, someone emailed it to me.
That's
in August. That in August? That's only in August, yeah. That's the August moon that's Mars that's bigger than the moon.
We start getting those emails.
Yeah, I know.
Pain.
I've been battling it, for...
But it keeps you in business, man.
I know, it sure
really
does. Yeah.
We all recycle the same posts over and over again every year. So.
I mean, if there's anything as an evergreen article for journalism, that's it.
Mars will not be bigger than the moon. Andrew, what do we got?
Yeah, this is actually not a live image. This is a couple of nights ago, as you can see from the timestamp. What we have here is the Whirlpool galaxy taken with the Malin-Cam a couple of nights ago.
Oh, nice.
The comet you just showed, K1 Pan-STARRS, was very near that a few nights ago.
That's right. I've seen some lovely wide field images that have both of them in the picture. Really good opportunity.
Yeah, terrific. And Gary, I think you've got some clouds.
I'm getting clouded out. That is M53, but I'm gonna pull some old ones and show them here.
Sure.
And, you know, we were talking about Stuart was talking about the processing, and we tend to jump over things without explaining it because we know. But you say red, green, and blue. Some people might understand that the human eye sees in red, green, and blue, and it's a mixture of those. So anytime you want to make a color picture, all you need is a red, a green, and a blue. Mix them, and you can get all the other colors, because that's the way the human eye works.
Got a question here from Matthew Woods. Does the sun move through the galaxy arms as it orbits around the galactic center? And I actually did a video on YouTube just about a month back about that. So the sun takes about 240 million years to complete an orbit around sort of the center of the Milky Way, but actually it passes through one of the spiral arms about every 10 million years, and the spiral arms are actually density waves. So they're not actually like a thing that exists in the galaxy. They're actually, stars are moving in and out of these density waves as they move around the galaxy. So yeah, the sun does move through the arms and back out again. And right now we're in the Orion spur of the.
Yeah.
Which arm are we in? The Sagittarius arm? No.
No, not in the Sagittarius arm.
Is it the Norma arm? I think the Orion spur and the Norma arm.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but every 10 million years or so, we go through another arm, and we're surrounded by star formation, and
so it's like we're doing
back out again.
The galactic wave.
Yeah, wave. But yeah, so if you do a search on YouTube for why do galaxies have arms, you'll see the video that I did, and a demonstration with a bunch of cars piling up on a highway.
So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, subscribe to this channel and just look through this channel.
Yeah, look through this channel and you'll see the video I did. All right, let's go. I'm going to move to. So Stuart, have you got an update now, or are you just continuing?
Yeah. So what I did here is I applied an unsharp mask to it, which will kind of sharpen the edges between the low and high contrast areas, and also I put it through a noise filter, so it's a little less noisy, and I balanced out the gradient using a plugin called Gradient Exterminator that you remember before on the upper left there was sort of yellowish, and on the lower right it wasn't, and that filter got rid of that, and so now it's a nice even neutral sky color all the way across the sky.
That looks great. So what's the total imaging time on this?
This was about 6 hours, I believe.
Right.
If I remember correctly, I'd have to look back through my notes, but knowing me, it was 3 hours of luminance data and then 3 hours of color data, more or less. And I probably threw out some bad subs, but in that range. So this is about 6 hours of data, and I was trying to catch that supernova.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Totally see it
right there. So
it's awesome. And now I know how to see it.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, what do you got there?
Yeah, this is the wonderful Sombrero Galaxy, one of my favorites. I've seen a really good amateur image of this quite recently. I think again off the Eye Telescope network, I think it was.
This is absolutely one of my favorite galaxies. I would say this and M51, which was the other one you showed, are my two pretty much favorite galaxies. Of course, the Milky Way is all right, but this one, just that.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, here, and Scott's got a view of it too.
Yeah. And actually, I'm going to say that Andrew's is better. I'm using Stellarium right now just, to pull up.
Is this one live, Andrew? No.
It is, yeah.
It is live. Yeah. Okay.
It was a 5-minute image. So I had to wait a bit of a while, which is why I was showing an old image of M51. It was like watching the kettle boil, just waiting for it to come
Which
in.
telescope are you using, Andrew?
This is a telescope known as T3 on the iTelescope network. So this is from New Mexico.
Right, no, but which, what are the specs of the
Ah, sorry, right. Let me just
20-inch plane waves.
get that up. So it is a Takahashi 150.
Oh.
Nice.
And it's got an SBIG one-shot color CCD on it.
Yeah, I mean, the Takahashis are like the Ferraris of telescopes.
Hey, mine's okay.
If you could replace your telescope with a Takahashi, would you do it?
Well, I don't know. It's actually more or less the same. No, well, yeah.
Really?
I like my scope.
Same
Right,
millimeter. If I said, I'll
Lamborghini
swap
or
out that
Ferrari?
telescope.
No, you can't. Tech scopes are second to none. I'm sorry. I'm a tech fan, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is the good thing about being able to use the iTelescope network. You can have a Takahashi one day and a plane wave 17-inch the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
and all from the comfort of your kitchen table with some nice hot tea. So
That's right. Lovely.
So, Andrew, are you processing that at all?
No, that's straight off that's the raw image straight off the camera.
Really?
I'm so glad that they've added these color cameras to these telescopes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get back in touch with Peter again and see if we can get more of these images coming up for just random stuff for the VSP.
Yeah, I know. Frustrated to have one of these on standby. We're like, oh well, while we're waiting, let's switch to the plane wave.
Everyone's cut it out. All right, I guess I'll drive it tonight.
Yeah. Gary, so this is an image from the past?
This is from January, and this is the Propeller Nebula.
That is so cool. One of these images that you showed us early on, and we've been finding every year.
Yeah. One I just did in hydrogen alpha beginning. Now it's kind of color.
That's terrific. And so, David, are you going after Saturn now? Is that the plan? You're working in the darkness now. Hey, whoa! He was high resolution for a second there.
Yeah, I know. Every time I switch cameras, it goes high res, then it goes back. So, yeah, I'm attempting to line up Saturn right now.
Oh, here we go. Another picture from Gary. Oh, look at that.
And this is another one from January 6th, the Rosette. I can't do my processed image. That's not fair. I'm just going to show ones we've done in a VSP.
Okay, all right.
Well, Stu's processing images. I don't see why you
Shah,
can't.
what have you got, speaking of things that are processed?
Oh, wow.
This was the Eta Carina Nebula in the southern sky. This was taken when I was in Australia in March 2013, last year, yeah.
Was it hard to take your telescope to Australia?
I brought this small 65 mm aperture scope. It's just a small scope and a iOptron Smart EQ mount. So it's pretty much a small setup. I don't want to drag the big ones to the flight. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this is actually using the Canon 5D Mark II, the unmodded version.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so it gets a lot of image, a lot of nebulosity from the
So
image.
what is one of these telescopes run? I've got a 5D Mark II.
This was using the scopes with the focal length of about 420 mm. So it's a short focal length scope. So it's pretty much an easy target actually. It's really bright, and you can see. I mean, look at the stars over there.
Yeah,
it's a miracle.
All you had to do was just get yourself to the southern hemisphere, down to Australia. And...
Yeah.
They have all the good stuff.
True.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, but then we have Saturn.
Yeah, Corey sort of sends me a new image every couple of days from South Africa. Like, feast your eyes on this. So, yeah.
I get those too from him. I think he just likes toying with us. Like, hey guys, I kind of miss being in Iowa, but not really. See, look at this.
Look at this.
Amazing.
And then these gigantic spiders that come into his house.
Yeah. Well.
Another image from the past, Andrew.
Yes, yeah, afraid so. I'm just waiting for another 5-minute live image. So yeah, while we wait for that one, this one is M13 from the Malang
Do shorter
images.
images. Try doing like 2-minute images.
Yes, I will. I meant to do that, but you know,
Well,
as you go back and click the acquire image button, you suddenly go, oh no, I didn't change the time.
Right. Well, if you bin it, just bin it 2x2, you'll be able to, you won't, we don't care about the resolution so much.
Oh, we do.
No, I mean, it'll increase the sensitivity by 4.
Yeah, remember the resolution is like 640 by 480. I mean, the resolution is
right.
is
So if you just bin it 2x2, then you'll be able to get shorter images.
Yeah, I forget what it's on. I think it might be on 2x2 already, but I'll check that out, Stuart. Thanks.
Yeah. So you've got some clouds in front of Saturn, David?
A little bit, mostly turbulence. Like I said, it's very. There's a lot of moisture around. It's clear, but it's typically Florida damp. So it's right over the house too. So I'm sure there's probably some heat giving off.
Right,
in the
it's
house.
lower. Like Mars is really high up, and Saturn's a little lower now.
Yeah, Saturn's in Libra right now. It's the brightest thing in Libra, as a matter of fact. But it's high to the southeast here right now, just over the peak of the house.
I could just tell by looking at my my horoscope that Saturn was in Libra.
Is that a tropical or sidereal?
Stop. I'll slap you both.
That's terrific. I'm going to go to Gary's picture here.
Another one from January, the horse head and the
That was a
flame
good.
off to the
That was a
left.
good night.
Yeah, it was.
That was.
And a satellite.
And a satellite.
Look at that.
I think the satellite's more just underlining, like, look how awesome this is. So I think you planned it that way.
I've moved to Shaw's next image from his Australia trip.
Yes, the blast from the past.
That
this,
And I'm from the future.
this is the Omega Centauri, the big globular cluster in Centaurus. It's really big and it's bright and it's humongous.
You
This was
can see
taken-
that from the northern hemisphere too.
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah, from Malaysia, it's about 40 degrees on the south. Never
Yeah.
gets higher any more than that. But from Australia, it's like overhead. I remember the first time I went over there in 2009. I spent 1 hour trying to recognize Scorpio, and only to realize it's upside down.
Hey, don't tell them that. They get offended.
Shoo. It's great.
That is a weird thing about, I've been down the southern hemisphere about 5 times, and it's weird to see familiar constellations upside down.
So sorry. So what's the telescope using? 65 millimeter, Shaw. What model is it?
Is the TS scope? I'm not really sure what the T and the S stands for.
Totally
Just-
spectacular.
Is it the TS quadruped astrograph?
Yes,
65
that's the
millimeter?
one. Yes,
Okay.
that's the one. The 65 mm f 6.5, I think, if I'm mistaken.
That's a pretty fancy 65 millimeter telescope.
Yeah. But I enjoy it more compared to the one that I'm using, the Skywatcher 120 mm at home, because of the wider field of view and much easier to set up in the site. Yeah.
And then what do you use for a mount?
Is the iOptron Smart EQ mount. Yeah, it's a very small. I think it's the most portable, usable equatorial mount for small scopes so far that I've been using now. It's great.
Yeah, this is a great little telescope.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
It's a great combo for outings, traveling on using airplanes or things like that. It's very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one of Gary's views from the past.
Yep, the Orion from the same January VSP.
Lillian Brennan's asking, on that January image of the horse head, what was the bright white and purple object to the left side of the image?
That's the Alnitak, the left-hand star in Orion's belt. And the purple and all that is just artifacting because it is so much brighter than everything else in the picture. It just blows out the camera. Hello.
Eric Robertson's asking, can you suggest some good sky targets besides the planets that would be visible from light-polluted burbs? The moon?
Yeah, the moon's good.
Usually I do star parties from downtown. Usually it's planets, the moon, and double stars, bright double stars.
Yeah.
You know, the summer triangle's good.
Yeah.
Some brighter star clusters, like the double cluster, or
sometimes you can get to the Orion Nebula with some brighter
nebula, the globular cluster in Hercules.
Omega Centauri, if it were overhead.
Yeah. So first you need to go down south.
Yeah, first thing you do is leave your darks. So I mean, if you live in light polluted skies, you can do what Gary's done, which is that he shoots with a hydrogen alpha filter, and that.
So you build your own observatory, and you just have a little base of operations.
Yeah.
And you know, sink a little bit of money into it. Or you can
cheap
and
and
easy way
easy
that I do is I just take my binoculars and go out to about an hour and a half away to get away from the city.
Yeah. Yeah, we always recommend start with a nice pair of binoculars. Yeah, those you got like what, the 25 by 100s, 25 by 80s from the Celestron ones, right? The
big 25 by 75, something like that.
Yeah, those are great. You know, you can see the moons of Jupiter, the rings of Saturn, clusters, all kinds of good dark skies.
I've been able to film the Pleiades. I mean, it's
yeah.
I love it.
All right, so Shah, what do we got now?
This is the Southern Pleiades. I believe.
Pleiades.
Yeah, the Southern Pleiades. Yeah, it looks pretty much like the Pleiades, but with the difference with the stars, with the star field behind.
Seven more sisters. What?
7 more sisters. Have we got any kind of Tarantula Nebula action going on? Did you get anything of the large or small Magellanic Clouds?
I got a wider field of view over here. Hold on,
All right. Wow, you know, we don't need to go to the southern hemisphere now. You've captured the whole thing. That's it.
But you forget we have people like Paul and Teal and Peter that, I mean, Paul just steps in, just blows everyone away, and drops his mic and leaves.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if people saw. So we did during the CosmoQuest Hangout-a-thon last week. We did the virtual star party, and Paul just came in and was like, "Hey, check out these prominences on the sun." I'm like, "That's great, but could you make it a time lapse?" And he's like, "Yup." And then he's got a time lapse of prominences blasting off the surface of the sun. Yeah, he's a monster. So, Andrew, what do we got?
Okay, this was the next one coming in. This is the Sunflower Galaxy. Really is galaxy season at the moment. So this is M63.
Super.
I might try and make that a little bit bigger, but I'm not sure
More
how it will
galaxies in
look.
there? Is there something in sort of the upper right there? I mean, when you start getting into the Virgo, it's just galaxies everywhere.
Yeah, not sure.
So great. All right. I'm going to go to Gary's view.
Again, January, this was the 19th, and it's the Bubble Nebula.
Awesome. That was a good night. You were on fire. Memories.
Kind of looks like the yin and yang symbol.
All right, and there's Shaw's view of the large and small Magellanic Cloud.
Yeah, there's the small and the small one is on the right, I think, and the large one on towards the middle. So it's very very easy to look with the naked eye. I was surprised to see it very very easily.
How dark were your skies where you were? Was it like just super dark?
Yeah, it's super dark. I mean, I've been talking to the guy in front of me, and I couldn't even see his face. So I'm not sure who I'm talking to at that time. But it was really dark. Yeah.
Bill Kovacs is reminding everyone that the Eta Aquarids meteor shower is this week. This is the Halley Comet meteor shower, right?
Yeah, they peak tonight. Yeah, they peak over the next few nights. But yeah, it's I think they give off about a zenithal hourly rate of about 40 per hour. So it's not a bad shower. I may stay out a little bit longer and watch for them tonight.
Okay, Stuart's got a picture. He's a live picture he's taking right now.
Yeah.
And that is just like a 1 10-second exposure.
Yeah,
1 10-second exposure. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. This is this is actually was one of the first pictures I took.
Wow.
I was just sort of digging through my old files, and this was a series of 90-second exposures all stacked together from about 4 or 5 years ago now. That I got some help in processing from my friends Mike Chasett and Chris Ford. But I'm just sort of dating back through old images because they just happen to be here.
Scott Chapin says the image processing demo was fascinating and something that, as a beginner, I certainly need to learn more about. Any chance of an online show dedicated to going all the way from image capture through processing to final image? Didn't we do that?
We've done similar things to that, but I think we can redo it as long as we keep certain guests like Stuart from just rambling on and on and on. I love you, Stu, but you do ramble. So I will have to be
zing.
I will have to be more structured because what turned into like a 3-part series just kept going on. So I think we can redo it, and if I crack the whip, because you know how hardcore I am about that, but I will be a little bit better and keep us on task.
I would totally love a show like that where you talk about astrophotography, but I have no clue how to process images.
See, so actually, Henna, you and I should do it, and you can crack the whip. You can be the bad cop.
Oh. You're doing a good job at that.
Yes. It's one thing that I have found working with you the last few days is you are really good at getting, like, no, you're doing this. No, yep, you're doing it. And
I'm just good at bugging people.
I love not having to bug people. So
I'm going to get blocked by a lot of people because of 9th May.
All right, great. So now that we've insulted all our astronomers, and
I've not insult. I only insult Stu because he insults me.
Oh, right. Well,
all the time, especially when I throw my back out and he asks for pictures.
But didn't like Michael and Stuart and Chris did one about 2 years ago? But I'm sure the techniques have all changed.
About a year and a half ago, and it kind of.
Time to update it, right?
Yeah.
You mean in terms of image processing?
Yeah, just like how to go through. Like, didn't one of you provided the rest of them with images?
So I asked, I think, Ahmed to provide some data for all of us to go through.
Yeah, Ahmed provided some data, and then you guys all processed it, and yeah.
Maybe I'll have a class.
Well, I mean, there are all kinds of videos that are available, online on YouTube for free. There's that we can recommend, people who've gone through this with screen sharing their programs and using Camtasia Studio and all that kind of stuff.
Niall Lynn McGee asks, how long of an exposure did you take these with? Also, would I have much luck observing Orion with my new 9-inch Dobsonian? Hey, congrats on the new 9-inch Dobsonian. I'm rocking a low-power lens with a low-power colossal magnifier. So, well, if you've got a camera connected to your telescope, different objects require different lengths of exposure time. So, the moon, it can be fractions of a second. Same with the planet. The planets, you'll want to record video and then stack them up with with some of these deep sky objects. You're going to want to do longer exposures, and as you saw, Stuart had one that he'd done 3 images and had done an hour, 2 hours each, just each color. So yeah, so it all just depends. You're just gonna have to get out there with the Dobsonian. I don't know if you've got it on a tracking mount. That's the problem with the Dobsonians, is they don't tend to have a good tracking mount. So they're not the best pick for doing astrophotography. But
unless you're Corey, which he is just
unless you're Corey,
like hands of gold and
tracking. Well, no, I mean some Dobsonians do come with a tracking mount, but in many cases they're more for keeping the object in the field of view than they are for really, really careful, long exposure astrophotography. So
this show has me feeling really nostalgic. Looking back at all the things, I mean, Corey started off with his Dobsonian in his backyard, hand guiding it, and now we see his amazing images, and just seeing like.
Yeah, well, they're astronomy's power couple now.
It's you guys are all awesome. We've all grown together and
changed, gotten better, lost our hair.
Well, Scott never had it.
No,
Scott,
I never did.
Yeah. Okay, so Andrew, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, it's another. This is the actual video recording from the Malaysia the other night when I was trying to find pan stars. Well, actually did find pan stars. So I don't know whether my last image from my telescope is going to actually make it through in time. So I just play this video. So this is how it plays back as you're using the Malaysia, and suddenly, just like a CCD, you're taking an exposure, and then boom, it sort of comes onto the screen. Once it's ready, and I use this quite a bit at outreach, so you can put this on a big TV screen, so you don't have people queuing up at the eyepiece.
Yeah.
And they can also have projectors. So this is pan stars from a couple of nights ago.
We've got a question here from Brian Hunt. Do you have information on radio telescopes and how they work? I recommend, because we don't have a lot of time, that you listen to the episode of Astronomy Cast that we did all about radio telescopes, radio astronomy, and Pamela explains how they work.
Or get hold of Nicole.
Well, I don't know if we want to have Nicole explain it
I will totally send people over to Nicole. She does it to me. So Noisy Astronomer on Twitter.
Yeah, ask her. So yeah, send Nicole an email. Say, please explain how radio telescopes work.
Or send her a tweet. She's awesome.
Send her a tweet,
and if she gets angry, tell her that I sent you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we've done an explainer on. I mean, the trick with radio telescopes, to give you the short version, is they have pretty much 1 pixel resolution. So while these telescopes we're using, will have huge resolutions, 5,000 pixels, however big the CCD is, a radio telescope has 1 pixel. And so what they do is they move the radio telescope across the sky and build up this image line by line, dot by dot. But you can build your own radio telescope in the backyard using an old, one of those big 12-inch dishes or 12-foot dishes, the big backyard radio dishes, and do amateur radio astronomy. Mostly looking at the sun and maybe Jupiter, but that's
right. Yeah, last time when I was visiting Nicole and Tim, she had a bunch of direct TV and stuff in her garage. She was going to set up her own array, and I'm like, yep, that's the redneck array right there. I was just like, give us all a bunch of direct TV. We're going to do some radio astronomy.
All right, well, why don't we start to wrap this up? I don't know how your time is, Andrew. Time for one last image, but we'll sort of say goodbye to everybody, and then if it comes through, we'll jump to you.
Yeah.
So, Dave Dickinson, I gotta say, I love the cinematography. I love the setup of you with that telescope, sort of working in the darkness. It's really cool.
I have 3 webcams out here, believe it or not.
That's my man.
You think a lot about the presentation of this.
Your presence
Gary,
is profound.
Thanks as always.
Yep. Thank you.
And sorry you had some clouds.
That's not too bad.
So.
It's Florida.
And thanks for joining us for the first time, Henna. It's great to have you. And
My
one
pleasure.
last reminder: when do people need to all go out to the sidewalks and share their telescope views?
So it's on 9th May, but some people are keeping it on 10th May as well. It depends. It's very flexible, so whatever suits you all. And people who want to join in, they can send us an email at onesky@knowthecosmos.com. And I mean, we are looking for more people to join us from different countries, so I hope people just jump in.
Yeah, we're at what? We're at 12, 13 countries so far?
We are 12 countries. We are trying to, hopefully, let's hope for Singapore and Indonesia to join us as well.
And so, yeah, all we're really looking to is just showing people that there are way too many things built between us that separate us all, but we have this one thing in common, and we can all just get out there and share this experience. And it takes some pictures together, just going out and having a good time sharing that. Send out tweets, or even just share your thoughts at the moment using the hashtag #OneSky, and just more of a big humanity experience of being able to just go out and and have a good time and try to transcend a lot of the things that keep us apart.
That sounds great. And Shaw, you're going to be participating from cloudy Malaysia?
Don't say that. I'll be going over to one of the newest observatory that we have over here in Teluk Kemang, in one of the states, about 1 hour drive from Kuala Lumpur. So it's going to be great. There's going to be the spot where all the people from all over Malaysia will be coming in over there. So hopefully it's going to be great over there.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Stuart, thanks for doing that quick and dirty tutorial. That was
that
was great. I think people really like that. So, and Andrew, thanks for getting up super early. Where's the timer? Are we looking at a timer here?
Yeah, it's actually finished the exposure. One of the last things it does is, unfortunately, is create the preview image. So I was just waiting for that to see if it arrived in time. But I still think we're going to be waiting for another 30 seconds or so.
All right. Well, Cyril Vila says, we all share the same sky, but only myself and Scott share the same bald head.
It's true. Phil's in there too.
Phil's there, yeah. I think it's something about astronomy just wipes out your hair follicles.
It's true.
Watch
or
out,
I use a razor.
That's your future. Look at this right here. Niall says, oh, thanks for answering. It's an old one, so no tracking mount, but my old man's got a nice 10-inch tracking Celestron, though. So take your telescope, set it aside, grab your dad's 10-inch telescope, and then that will be great for doing astrophotography.
Yes.
What else have we got here? Patrick Calhoun says, can video be done on a NEX 5 and a SE8 Celestron telescope? Absolutely. In fact, that's pretty much what Dave Dickinson's running.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah. You don't need anything really fancy.
No, just an 8-inch Celestron telescope. Nothing fancy, you know.
Well, I'm going to share some pictures real quick from the event page as well.
This one I'm using is about 20 years old, so.
Juliet Scott, Andrew's got a picture.
No.
M64, the Black Eye Galaxy.
Oh, look at that. Really does look like someone punched it.
Mm.
All right, so Scott, why don't you show off some last images from the...
So this is from Stephen Ron. This was taken on Saturday night near the Tennessee-North Carolina border, and they're all pointing at the Big Dipper, which I think is awesome. Great silhouette shot down here.
That's a fantastic picture. I love it.
That's cool.
I should be able to zoom in. So yeah, I love that. And let's see what else we have here. There's a couple more. There's some from the eclipse as well. Here's another one from Stephen Ron. This is Pan Stars. So we grabbed a look at this earlier, but there's Pan Stars for you. Zoom and enhance.
David, is this a binocular object?
Just barely. It's 8th magnitude. I couldn't see it with binoculars tonight. I could see it with the telescope, though. And there's another one, Comet Jacques, that's in Monoceros right now. That's 8th magnitude as well. It's right on the border of being binocular.
And let's see here. This is from last week's partial clip. This is from Osiris Ra.
Oh,
love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that's awesome.
This is taken with the same camera that I have, and I know that Fraser does too, the T3i.
Yep.
And wow.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
last week's partial solar. Yep.
That's just amazing.
So if any of you guys watching want to see these images themselves, they're over on Google Plus at the Virtual Star Party event page. Make sure to give us a circle, and if you have your own astrophotography, please submit them into the event page. Then we're doing the same thing there with the One Sky event as well. So if you're taking any images of what you're doing there, you can submit them into the event page and just being a part of the event, just like we are now with Virtual Star Party.
And one other thing I can recommend too, which is that if you're on Flickr, we've got a big pool of images for Universe Today that we often will share out to onto Universe Today, and I'm tweeting them all the time. So you can, if you go to Universe Today and then it says Photos at the top, if you click that, that'll take you to the Universe Today photo pool, and you could share your photos into Flickr there as well, and we'll do that. So if you use Google Plus, then share them onto our event pages. If you use Flickr, you can get them into the photo pool there, and we'll, it's great. And we'll reshare your images and try and help spread the word.
A lot of those that go in that Flickr pool end up in articles too, because I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that every day.
Yeah, there's we're about 14,000 pictures in there right now.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, all right, cool. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks to all the astronomers. This was fantastic. And Andrew, thanks for bringing the eye telescope. That was a real treat. So, and you did great, Henna. We need to hear more from you.
Yes. Stop being so loud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Interrupting people.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
The astro community for quite a while now. She has sort of came onto our radar for doing a bunch of really cool educational outreach with students in India, and teaches them astronomy experiments and makes rockets and things like that, and has been sort of participating with CosmoQuest, and now is working on a project with Scott Lewis.
Great.
So before we get into the actual astronomizing, why don't we let you guys do a quick plug of what it is that you're doing?
Go for it, Henna. You're our special guest. They hear me talk all the time.
Yes, they do. Okay, so we have organized an event for 9th of May, and it's the One Sky event, where we are celebrating the fact that we all share one sky and one Earth. And it's basically a sidewalk astronomy event done on an international scale, where astronomers from everywhere will be just setting up telescopes everywhere, and there are local public places, and anyone who's passing by can take a look at the Moon, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn. So yes, we have about 12 countries participating so far, and that's just awesome. We are trying to rope in more people from different countries, and so we hope that this is going to turn out to be a nice, big event. And yeah, that's it.
All right, well, that sounds great, but maybe can you put that in commercial form?
Scott can do that.
We live in a world where there are countless borders built between us, both physically and socially. However, we have one sky that unites us all.
Looking up into the night sky is something that we can all do, regardless of where we live on this planet. On the 9th of May, people from across the globe will be doing just that.
Looking up and appreciating one of the things we all share, our sky. We will be joining astronomers from around the world who will be setting up telescopes absolutely free for anybody who wants to look through.
You can join in as well by attending local events or virtually on Facebook.
For the Beehive cluster. So this is the central part of it. So you see, if I could spin it around, what looks like a little house. I think it's also called the Praesep, or the manger. I've got a little a blooming on there, you can see from the stars being so bright in that telescope.
So much light.
I think it's just the bees are buzzing really strongly tonight, and
Blooming
you can really see them fly.
That's great. All right, and Gary.
M81 and M82. And
you appear to be blinking again.
For the color, but I don't have color ballots running right now.
Mm.
Am I blinking?
Yeah.
Why
so
is
sorry.
it doing that again? I have no idea why it's doing that.
I don't know.
You was doing that to me last week too.
Who programmed it?
Yeah. Well, I'm currently building a whole new operating system disk, so this one's old.
Oh, well, that'll help.
Hopefully that's the problem.
So now, Stuart, because you don't have skies tonight, you're going to work on a project here in the background? What's
right,
going on?
So...
Macrame? Are you crocheting?
You're going to knit something?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm creating... I'm going to be working on an image. Hopefully I can get it done within the hour, but right now I'm creating flat masters. And if you see my screen, you see vignetting on the left, and you see dust bunnies to the right. And this is kind of what photographers have to deal with. And the whole point of this particular image, which just looks like a gray blob, is to take out those in the final image. And I'll show that when I'm ready.
So you're teaching the software what's bad about your
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. And so once this is a master of all the light frames, I'm going to do the RGB in a second, and then I'm going to load all the light frames and then subtract these out. Actually, you divide out the flat frames, but yeah.
So real quick, how did you create that?
While Shah gets his Spyro under control. It could be days. So, David, what is this glowing gray orb you're showing us?
This is a very blobby, blurry version of the moon that's probably about 5 degrees above the western horizon getting set. The moon's like waxing crescent right now, I think about 25% illuminated. But it's kind of cool along the terminator. You're seeing the sunrise there. The crater I had right at the top, you could see the central peak where the sun is just starting to hit it. I looked that up. That's Theophilus is the name of that crater right there.
Yeah, the moon is really low on the horizon, even for me. And
yeah, on the west coast, it should be a little higher for folks out there. Right now,
it'll be setting though.
I didn't think I was going to be able to get it at all. It's really close to the fence. Probably in a few minutes, I'll move over to Mars. I'll mute myself and then reconfigure everything over to Mars. Then we'll move on to Saturn. I'll be able to get that too. Mars won't be as blobby.
And it's super close right now, so it's going to be the best view of Mars we're going to have for a couple of years.
Yeah, for another 26 months. Yeah, oppositions come around. Mars was at opposition last month, and Saturn reaches opposition next weekend, as a matter of fact. So they're both in very good viewing positions right now. Jupiter just went behind the fence, so I won't be able to get that. Jupiter is very close to the moon tonight. They're both in Gemini right now. So
yeah, right here. So wow, that must be really close to your fence, because there's Jupiter right there, and there's the moon. So you really are just squeezing the moon in there real quick.
Yeah, when I looked earlier tonight, I didn't think, when I looked at the rising setting times, I didn't think I'd be able to get the moon, but about 20 minutes ago I looked and I was like, well, it's high enough above the fence, I might as well start there.
It's strange that we're going to lose Jupiter. You know, wouldn't be the virtual star party without Jupiter, but
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move to Andrew's view, and Andrew's got a bunch of stars. What's this, Andrew?
Yeah, this is M40.
Google Plus, and Twitter.
Looking through a telescope will let you see Mars and Saturn, star clusters too. But you don't even need a telescope. As long as you have clear skies, you can all look up at the moon together. So on the 9th of May, join us in gazing up at the night sky.
If you're hosting your own local star party, share with us the details on any of our event pages, which are linked in the description below.
Don't forget to share your pictures or astrophotography with the world using the hashtag OneSky. Wherever you are in the world, let's look up at one sky and share our sense of wonder about our cosmos.
Fantastic. That's going to be great. So May 9th, Sidewalk Astronomy event.
So
how can we get involved?
We have an event over on one of my other channels, over on Space Fan News. So find us on Google Plus at Space Fan News, where we have our event set up there. Also, Henna has a Facebook event set up as well. That's it's on your name, but if you just go to knowthecosmos.com/onesky, it has all the events, all the information you need. I'll put the link below in the event page, and that just has everything. So as far as us getting more information as it's being updated, we'll be updating it there and throughout all of the other events that we have for it.
All right, sounds great. And Shaw has just joined us. Hey, Shaw. Oh.
So Shaw is dealing with a lot of spyware at the moment, and so he's trying to clean his computer at the same time, which it's funny just seeing him pop in and freeze for a bit. So everyone can go and harass him on Twitter at Shawgazer and tell him which computer cleaning software do you use, and just tweet it at Shaw and let him know.
Now we got two Shaws. Perfect. All right, well, I'm going to move on to the actual space stuff here. Well,
I think
Hey
it did too.
everybody, it worked. Hey everybody, Fraser Cain here, publisher, Universe Today, and this is your virtual star party for
Don't do
May...
it. Don't do it.
for May 4th,
There you go.
2014. Star Wars Day. So we've got some special guests here tonight. So let's see. Let's kind of move through the crowd we've got here. We've got Andrew Dumbleton, who is running the Eye Telescope.
Hi, Fraser.
He's in England. It's in New Mexico, and I'm seeing low res. Maybe that'll clear up. Speaking of low res, we got David Dickinson.
Hey.
We got 8-bit Dickinson over here.
8-bit Dickinson.
It actually says 8-inch SCT Hudson, Florida. I'll just keep reading it till I someday solve whatever the problem is with this.
I like
connection.
just change it to 8-bit and we'll be good.
Yeah, David 8-bit Dickinson.
Pretty much.
Got Gary Gonella. Hey, Gary.
Hi, guys.
How's it going, Gary?
I don't know.
We got Stuart Foreman
Hi.
without a telescope.
Sorry, clouds.
That's all right. That's all right. And we got my co-host Scott Lewis. Hey, Scott.
How's it going?
Also known as @ScientificScott. Follow him on Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter. I tweet a lot. And Google Plus even harder.
And we got a very special guest today. We got Henna Khan from India. Hey, Henna.
Hi, everyone.
From the future.
Henna is from the future. And she's got
I am from the future, yes.
Yeah, what's it like tomorrow?
It's bright and sunny here in the
perfect.
future.
So whereabouts are you located, Henna?
Sorry?
Where are you? I said India, but that's a big country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Bombay.
You're in Bombay.
Yes.
And so Henna has been sort of circling